Hello, the game has started and it's me to go first. I have a pretty good rack. Is there a bingo? Injera springs to mind. But that doesn't reach the middle square. Right, so I don't have a 5-letter play, do I? Beginning with a J. That's what I'd be looking to play. Can't see it. But I will play Injera. Maybe not there. That looks better. Injera for 28. Nope. Yeah. Not a bad pickup. A few duplicates. Let's see if we can... Evening. Nice. That currently plays at 7B across. Is there a bingo with the R? Nevering? Envering? No. Now, what about this extra E? Not seeing it. What about the A? Okay, opponent's play of due takes out a few floaters. What about the N? Nope, not seeing it. So, evening. Evening. Wow. Okay. Evening for 69. Eluents, wow. And Injera's 84. So good bingo by opponent. What about front hooks for evening? Sevening? Sevening doesn't sound plausible. I do have twig or twigs. And also this N looks useful. Winkets? No. Winkest. But I think twig is going to score fairly well. 42. If I play the S, it's 47. I think I'll keep the S. Twig for 42. Not bad. I've got the H and the K and the S. Some synergy there with those three. And the N still looks pretty useful. What about, I'm just thinking the front hooks for evening. Leavening, no. times. Wow, opponent's bingoed again. I've got KO at the top here for 34. Not a bad rack leave. What about a four-timer? Can't see anything there. Got a Hoke actually, that should score quite nicely for 46. Not great, the U and W, a dreaded combo, although nowadays you can play UWU, so if there were a U floating I could get rid of it. Waddy, don't know about that, but hopeful. Ordle, said AWDYL or something like that, a weird word. Or Ordle, no. Not sure. Anything across the top? A word ending SY. Nope. Mind you, the S could play at the top of KI. Doesn't really help me. There's very little I can do with this undesirable U. I have duly, D-U-L-Y, duly noted. Now, Judy is an option. Not a great rack leave, 19, and happy to get it. But I do still have some options. I've got Wad for 27. That's not bad, actually. I didn't think I'd be able to muster 27. Opponent could be close to a bingo. He's taking some time with this move. Macro. Okay, now this does actually help me, I think, because I can play yaw, getting rid of two of the clunky consonants. Or what about dyad? 28. The Q has yet to be played, so the U might be useful if I pick up the Q. Dyad. $35. I'm going with this. I was just looking at a word ending SY something like Wadzi or Ladzi, but it's just not happening. That could have scored pretty well. So you're for 35. Okay, I've drawn an E, which helps the rack, and the X is always a welcome sight. Holds out the hope of a big score. Any hot spots for the X? Deluxe. Wow. 60 points, not bad, with a decent enough rack leave. And that'll be hard to improve upon. Macro still takes that S. Jiao. Opponent might be having vowel problems. Now there is also the EX there, but it's not going to score nearly as well as Deluxe. I'm going with this. 60 points. Now VoIP. VoIPs and macros for 30 gives back an easy 30 to opponent, so not ideal. VO. Could just play vid for 27, taking out 2 floaters. Well, and frustrating a third. The R and the O are quite useful as floaters as well. Ovoid. Ooh, opponent bingos just through the floater I was thinking of. So maybe I will play VoIPs and macros now. 30, yep. I draw the Z and just looking at close to a lovely Z play there, but well, there is Saz for 50, but it gives back easy points to opponent. Z takes a whole... that's interesting. So I've got Zig, and I'll pull the trigger on that pretty swiftly because I don't think there's going to be anything remotely close to that. 61. So that's done. Now, Bastide. I think there are a few bingos here. Bastide. Bedius through an E. But what are the other bingos here? Opponent plays cat, gets rid of the Q. I'm a bingo ahead, but I need a playable bingo, not just a bingo. Is there a bingo that begins with the T. Now there is an A as well, so 8-letter word. Beginning at G5, I can't see one. Blythe, just to score something, but diabetes through an E. What am I missing here? There's a few bingos, aren't there? Can't see it. Bastide and... no, not seeing it. So, Blythe for 30. Tack nodes through an E. Some bingo tiles remaining. Let's do scant. That takes out a few floaters. So I do have a bingo's lead. Hatpin. Okay, opponent scores well there, but not enough. I have amount. Yeah, I think I'll go with amount for 27. Add mount? No. And can opponent go out? I can. Drug and rad. Rod. So, opponent has ELRT. Plays let. And I think I'll just go out with drug. There we go. Thank my opponent for the game. 469 to 394. And let's see what we missed. Okay, so first move Injera. That looks fine. That was my opening rack. Opponent's got a few bingos here. Unseared, Undersea, and Unerased. Plays Dew. And then I've got Evening and Evening for 69 and 66. Now opponent's got a beautiful rack here. Under Seal. Wow, through the DE for a 4-timer, 86 points. He goes with Eluents, nice overlap. And now I've got Twig for 42, which looks fine. Top right. Wow, look at this. Xeroderma. Obviously got to do with skin, I think. Derma. Xeroderma. Wow. 94 points. Opponent goes with Roamers. Hoke for 46 looks fine. And then opponent has, wow, another amazing play. Look at this. Aeronomic through 3 disconnected floaters. Aeronomic for a 4-timer. Opponent goes with Macro. Now I've got Yaw for 35, highest score, but the highest simming play was Waddy, and that was there at the top. 32 points, good rack leave. And look at that, 10 points better from an equity score, even though the actual numeric score was 3 points higher for Yaw. Just shows you the rack leave is that important. And opponent now has a Val heavy rack, goes with Jiao, and Deluxe for 60 was clearly best there. Opponent has a great rack here, Laterize and Lyriest, Lealties as well from this L, goes with Laterize. And now I've got a few options. Vid scored quite well at the top, which I did contemplate during the game, but I liked VoIP because, well, it limited what opponent could do in the bottom left, but it also took out the macro hook, albeit only one S remaining, so I don't know if it was, but it scored fairly well. So VoIPs for 30. And then opponents got quite for 46. Power play, that would have drawn him level. Goes with Boy. Zig for 61 or Zag. That looks fine. And now opponents got Flinted, Flighted. Flinted looks nice for 46. Look at that. Boyf. And he goes with Cat. Now, no playable bingo. And I took a while on this move. Blythe was best. So glad to have spotted that. Opponents flied. Again, that Boyf hook. So big score, but not enough. Defo was also a decent score, 36. No E for tack nodes. And yeah, not too many great scoring plays. I decided to take out the floaters. Not that they were overly useful, but it did help control the board a little bit, and also took out potential plays in column K. like a TH play, could have scored quite well. Anyway, went with scant, and a nice rack here for opponent actually. Hat pin, good score, 38 points. Dormant, that would have been the play. Got the M doubled. I had a feeling there was a high scoring play there. Mordant and dormant, anagrams of each other. So I went with a mount, and opponent Twiglet, yeah, just really end game stuff just to play out, and drug for 12. So that was the end of the game. An interesting one. We kind of did get up to the corners, and only a few bingos played as well. So hope you enjoyed watching that game, and I will see you next time.